Alright guys, what's going on? This is Liam and I'm going to talk about coffee. Why coffee's bad, why you shouldn't drink it, a multitude of reasons as well. One of the first reasons, the most obvious reasons, is the oxalates. So I've spoken at length about oxalates in my previous videos, but basically oxalates are a molecule that will bind with magnesium, potassium, phosphorus, and calcium. Most likely calcium. They have a sort of, you can call it an affinity, so a desire to bind with in your brain, especially magnesium and calcium. And what it does is oxalates bind with magnesium. Well, let's use calcium as the most common cause of kidney stones is calcium oxalates. And they actually form crystals, little shards. And these shards can lodge in your joints, arthritis. They can lodge in your brain, tinnitus. They can lodge in your brain stem, tinnitus. They can lodge in your peripheral nervous system as well as your central nervous system. Your central nervous system is your brain and your spine. They can cause all sorts of problems. They can cause digestive problems as well. They can contribute to IBS, which I used to have when I was very young, irritable bowel syndrome. They can cause all sorts of issues. Okay, I want to point out one thing as well while I'm here, because we're going to talk about sleep in a second. I'm outside in Australia. It is pretty cold. It's still overcast, but I'm still going to get out in the sun. Wearing a jumper, not smart, but trying to say relatively warm while I film this video outside, so I'm not shadowing. So that's the defense. Okay, and that exists in obviously the seed, which creates coffee. I don't know if it's a seed. I think it's a nut, actually. Excuse me, but it's extremely high in oxalates, extremely toxic. Okay, so don't drink it. But that should be enough, reason in the first place. So what is the actual benefit of having magnesium and calcium in your body? Well, funnily enough, speaking of binding. You have different kinds of bonds, but the bonding that goes on between, let's say, calcium and BPA, or something like that, or something else that you consume, for example, bromine, or for example, another halide, like fluoride or chlorine. Okay, that's very prominent pharmaceuticals and drugs and swimming pools and clothes and basically everything that we're surrounded with. It's actually supposed to bind with that, and it's supposed to pull it out through your skin or your lymphatic system, okay? Also, oxalates can clog up your lymphatic system. So, that's a pretty good reason. Obviously, that's going to contribute to having tinnitus if you can't detox your brain or your nervous system. Unfortunately, toxins seem to seek out fat, and our nervous system and our brain is almost 100% fat, and it's got a lot of cholesterol too. It's why we should eat cholesterol. Let's get on to the sleep. So when you're asleep, you're supposed to break down your cells, okay? You're supposed to break down the cells that are dying or nearly dead or dead and clean them up, okay, and make new cells. And that process is called autophagy or mitophagy, okay? And in order to have that function, you probably have to have healthy mitochondria. In order to have healthy mitochondria, you have to feed them. And here's the crazy thing. When you eat a piece of steak, okay, let's say for a stupid reason you have 2 cells in your whole entire body. By the way, hands are nearly fixed. That's the last bit there. Let's say 2 entire cells in your whole entire body. Even if you have 1 cell that's dead, your body is still going to assign that dead cell just as much food as the other cells. It's unfortunate, but it's true, so it's useless. It's like if you have 3 kids, 1 dies from whatever, and you still sit at the dinner table and try and feed it. Not only are you wasting food, well, you're wasting food that other kids could have, right? Really sick, dark example, but that's example. So you want less cells. You want to clean them up when you're asleep. Autophagy is very important for tinnitus, because it also can help your ears as well, it can help your brain, it can help the cochlea, it can help the cells inside the cochlea, and it can help with the distribution of electrons. Okay, we want power and electrons. So when you're asleep, you want your autophagy to take place. Now, what are we doing when we're fasting? Okay, Liam, what's the really big benefit of fasting? Well, one of the benefits is that we're not eating plants or sugar or bullshit or water, crap, call it water if you're dry fasting. But the real benefit is that we're mimicking a good night's sleep. I kid you not, that's the real benefit. If you slept really, really well, I guarantee you wouldn't have tinnitus right now. Maybe that's a determining factor. Why do some people live really crap lives, just as crap as yours, and you have tinnitus and they don't? Could it be because of sleep? Potentially, I'd say it's a very big factor that contributes to getting it or not. And lots of people always contact me and say, Liam, blah, 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 I have tinnitus, blah, blah, blah. And I say, how's your sleep? And they say, terrible. I have kids. Ever since I had kids, I can't sleep. Started this new job, I can't sleep. My dad died, I can't sleep. I've got a lot of those recently. It's very sad. So, coffee, it changes your circadian clock. So right now I've got light going into my eyes, it's going through my retinas, into my suprachiasmatic nucleus, and then into my body clock, and then it's going all through my body and setting what organs are supposed to do. When you fall asleep, your organs take turns to clean themselves and send messages to your brain saying, yep, we're fixed, yep, we're done. As well as that, obviously lots of digestive things are happening, and you're hitting autophagy hopefully, but you will not hit autophagy if you drink coffee when you're asleep. And you will not hit autophagy if you eat or drink for 4 hours before bed or have a shower, okay? Because you absorb water through your skin. So what's really happening there? So you're inhibiting your body's ability to secrete melatonin. As you wake up in the morning, I spoke about cortisol in my very early videos, and it can be an inflammatory point, but not all inflammation is bad, okay? For example, my feet, they're swollen right now. You could say they're inflamed, but it's helping the blood flow, and it's about to start to rain. So coffee sends a message to your brain, and it actually blocks, it has something to do with a hormone called adenosine, okay, which actually communicates with melatonin, and it's supposed to help secrete melatonin so you fall asleep, okay? So it's like if it's 10 p.m. and you're in bed watching Netflix on the screen and you're shooting the light into your eyes and it's telling your body don't go to sleep. Your coffee that you drink, which I believe it lasts for about 12 hours, okay? You're supposed to be secreting melatonin at least 6 hours before bed. Now it's not going to happen if you have coffee, so you're not going to get a good night's sleep. And if you don't get a good night's sleep, you're not going to get into autophagy. And also, you know, we could talk about Matthew Walker's book about sleep, and we can talk about REM and NREM, but the point is, don't drink coffee because you're not going to get into autophagy when you sleep and clean the cells in your brain and your ears that need to be cleaned in order for you to get the best chance of ever silencing your tinnitus, hyperacusis, pulsatile tinnitus, vertigo, and Meniere's disease, as well as a plethora of other problems that go away when people follow my advice. So just don't fucking do it. Don't do it, okay? You can see the results, they're there, stop it. Don't drink decaf. Decaf does not mean there's no caffeine, it means there's less caffeine. It's still bullshit, guys, don't do it. Another thing, the supplements are back on track. Obviously I'm sourcing the stuff from here. I'm just making sure that it's been treated properly so it's safe to consume, and I want to make sure that it's a certain way that it's safe to send overseas. If everything goes to plan, I'll be shipping to all countries. It's going to contain the animal organs that you need, obviously, which has DHA in it. It's going to have PQQ. I won't give away too much now. I'm kind of excited because it's going to have a lot of stuff that I haven't even mentioned in Instagram or YouTube. So that's still happening. I'm very, very excited about that. The last thing is follow me on Instagram, Liam_stops_tinnitus. Okay, so that's got a lot of information on it. Sometimes I do a story and I answer questions and I, record stuff and I give little hints about what to eat. Well, no, not hints. I'm not like hiding anything, but like, eat this, do this, that sort of stuff. And there's some great testimonials there. So pictures and videos of people who are silenced their tinnitus or they're getting great results in a short amount of time. All ages, all genders, all causations, all ethnicities, all frame of mind. So yeah, lots of motivation there. So I hope this helped. That's why you should never drink coffee when you have tinnitus, or in general, really. I mean, I didn't even talk about the effect it has on the adrenal glands. Okay, wearing them out, and then you got to start thinking about eating some kidneys and eating some adrenal glands, and good luck finding that. So it's better just to not fuck yourself up in the first place. Anyway, that's enough. I don't want to start swearing a lot of time to end the video, so that's coffee and tinnitus.